Holidays! I completed week 1 of The Artist's Way, and I thought I would just share a little reflection on week 1. If you don't know what that is, it's a book by Julia Cameron, and you use writing exercises to reconnect with your creativity, with your spirituality. I've been finding it really interesting. The book really encourages you to reflect every single week, so I'm doing that now. So the very first thing I did was run to TJ Maxx and get a new notebook. I am an all-in person, okay? When I start something, I really invest in it emotionally, physically, economically, but I made a commitment with myself to not make it perfect. I have some pages where I just glue in random rip outs because I have these smaller journals. Yeah, smaller journals I just carry around with me. I rip them out, stick it in here just so I have everything in one place. So it's already quote unquote ruined a little bit. It's almost like breaking in a new shoe. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get a new shoe, it's a little bit uncomfortable, but it's new and pristine. Comfort and making a shoe look older almost goes hand in hand, and that's kind of my thought process towards this notebook. I had to break it in, have some imperfect pages, have some messy handwriting. And by messy, I mean like wake up, open my eyes, super groggy kind of messy, doctor's handwriting level of messy. Like I cannot even read my own handwriting after the fact kind of messy. So let's see, what happened in the first week? One of my goals is not to apologize for the way I do things anymore because I have already such a negative self-talk. I feel like my first inclination is to tell you, hey, I'm sorry if I'm not doing this book correctly, blah, 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 blah. But no, I'm not gonna do that. Because I feel like, especially for such a spiritual book, such a personal book, you have to do it your own way. Do you see me literally trying to reprogram in real time? Oh my god. I'm flipping through and some of the handwriting... Oh. Anyway, first week, almost every single day, I wrote my Flow of Consciousness 3 pages. So usually that means when I wake up and I get my doctor's handwriting, yeah, and I just write 3 pages, whatever. Usually it's something about my dreams, but other times it's a lot of questions about life. I found myself writing stuff like, is money the root of all evil? Really philosophical, really questioning, and stuff like, will I be okay in the end? But yeah, I would feel really emotional writing them. It's almost like a release of some sort. Some days I'm not that emotional. Some days it's just like, I have this weird dream, I don't know what it means. And I write about like attention, about validation, about my life direction, my artistic direction. It's a lot of questions, a lot of thoughts about how do I make myself satisfied and how do I satisfy the world? How do I balance those? And how does money play into that equation? And about value of my output, value of myself innately. Really big questions. And then the second part would be affirmations. So I split it into 3 columns. The first column is the affirmation, stuff like, I am a prolific and talented artist. I added some that were not in the book. I said, I have a fantastic mind capable of understanding complex things. And then my second column would be my negation. I would say stuff like, for example, if I say I'm a prolific and talented artist, I would say, no, you don't have much innate talent. You just happen to like to draw as a kid. And you believe that you're talented because you got a head start in practicing. Something like that, right? And then my third column would be a negation. I could write, no, you are talented and prolific because you gravitated to this through childhood with nobody guiding you towards it. So you have an inclination for this because it was your natural calling. Otherwise, how could you have arrived at that conclusion? And I realized throughout the days, some days I wouldn't have nothing to negate. I feel like I would believe the affirmations more and more, which to me is very positive. And for some reason, even with such a creative and artistic mind, I'm always looking for benchmarks. I'm always looking for those clues on how can I evaluate myself. I think it's very deeply ingrained throughout childhood to get a grade, to get evaluations. That's just how society operates. We want to find a number, we want to find a metric, we want a KPI. I really do not like those sort of metrics. At the same time, I embrace that's how the world works, and I embrace that part of me operates that way because it's a way for us to survive. It's a way for us to tell society, look, I'm doing good, I have value. Please hire me, please give me this opportunity. So I accept it. And to me, the negation column being a little bit smaller, it's an evaluation that I'm moving in the right direction and it's good. You know, I don't think all evaluation is bad and I don't think all intuition is good. Both things can exist at the same time. Remember how I'm saying I'm trying to be less all in. Even in these statements, I'm trying to be a little bit more open-minded to the possibilities, a little bit more inclusive, and just knowing that there's so many possibilities in the world. I really liked writing the affirmations. I felt like the sections were a little bit tedious. In order for it to be effective, I would have to write the affirmations many times and repeat them throughout the day. And there were a lot of affirmations. So yeah, eventually I got lazy and I stopped negating. Maybe the book is really smart. I got too lazy to negate and I just started writing more and more positive affirmations. And I think it helps your self-talk. It's sort of like forcing you to practice being nice to yourself, because why on a random Tuesday would you just write, I'm a prolific and talented artist? I feel like if I wrote that on a random Tuesday, I would think I was really vain. I would feel shame in saying that statement to myself. I would feel like I did not deserve it. But this exercise is intentional. I'm intentionally trying to be positive towards myself. So it kind of removes the shame and the guilt. And I'm just intentional about being positive. That's good. And what a rare thing, what a precious thing to have. So I really enjoy the affirmations. And I really enjoyed burning down my negative self-talk. I almost made it too tired to try and negate me, which is fantastic. I feel like I never got how people can just accept compliments about themselves, accept positive things about themselves without doing the negation. But now that it's in practice, it feels really good. You can even see in the beginning when I said, I don't want to, preface that, oh, I'm sorry if I'm doing this book wrong, blah, 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 blah. It's me trying to practice those affirmations, that positive vibe, and just keep it going. Okay, next is the Hall of Monsters. So that is where you pick one person that has put you down artistically or maybe just not encouraged you in the best way about your creative dreams. I try to write a letter almost every day of the week to them. At first I was really angry. I really teared up writing those letters. I was like sad and angry and resentful at the same time. And then throughout the week, just one random Sunday morning, I woke up and I decided to write a letter of acceptance. I wrote like, I forgive you for doing this to me. I didn't feel good that this happened. I understand why you did what you did. I know where you're coming from. I know you have circumstances that led you to discourage me. I'm going to try and move past that now. I know I can't change you, and I know I can't change what has happened between us in the past, but I'm trying to reach a mutual understanding so that we can both move on and I can put this to rest. It's funny because the other person you're writing about doesn't even know what's going on. Like, so much is happening in my $5 TJ Maxx journal that she will never know. It creates a sense of closure because the fact that they don't know means that I am not trying to change them. It means they can stay the same way that they are, and we don't have to address anything in person. I'm just accepting what happened and moving on. Because all that is in control is what I can do. If this action is one-sided, it's entirely controlled by me. So the fact that I'm dealing with it on paper and no one will ever know is fantastic. I'm arriving at a one-sided closure that I know I needed, but maybe the other person doesn't even realize. So me doing this exercise is 100% within my control. And that means I'm coming to terms with this whole thing only with my feelings, with my interpretation of what has happened. And that's okay. Because I feel like this isn't like a divorce, I don't need mutual understanding. I don't need to divide any assets. It's more of an emotional processing. And for the first time, I feel like, okay, some conflicts in life, you don't need both sides to be on the same page. Sometimes you just need to acknowledge it yourself and move on. Oh, that's really eye-opening for me. Not just in art or creativity or spirituality, but just in general, knowing that, okay, I can just move on my own. I don't have to wait for anyone. That's great. No one can hold me back in a conflict. I acknowledge that's not the way you can solve a problem for every single scenario, but in a creativity and like self-esteem context, I feel like you're reclaiming power back because you don't need other people to acknowledge you. You just need you to acknowledge you, and you just need you to process it and move on. And that's really beautiful. Next, we have a more positive note, which is the half good. And I just thanked someone that really encouraged me. And then I got a little bit sad because I feel like I didn't appreciate them enough at the time because I was so caught up on negating all the positive aspects of my creativity that whenever they encouraged me, I kind of brushed them off. I really regret that. I really do. And it made me realize I have to really treasure all the encouragement that I get throughout my artistic journey, no matter who it's from, no matter how big or small, because the encouragement is so rare to come by. Why not just treasure all of it? It's almost like a gold nugget. You don't come by with those every day. You sit by the river, you just watch the fish, you watch everything wash away, and then one day there's a gold nugget that just floats by. Those are the people that encourage me. I just want to scoop them up, look, oh my god, it's 24 karat gold, and just hold it close to my heart and really acknowledge they have value. So my haul of good ended up being a practice of gratitude almost. That was really, really nice. And even talking about it now, I realize this is a gratitude exercise. Now I think I will be more conscious of all those good things that happened to me and reflect more on how the world is encouraging me. If you look at my previous videos, I had people telling me my voice is calming or that they found my video helpful. Videos are a way of me expressing my creativity, my thoughts, and I will treasure all of those comments because I have a perspective that the world is so stacked against me when it comes to sharing my art. So why not amplify all the positivity I'm getting, I hope my perspective on creativity, it will one day just flip because I amplify the positive encouragement so much more. So even for the encouragement that's not so visible, I'm trying to absorb it and really feel it every single day. The last one is my absolute favorite exercise. Okay, this exercise is really fun. It's called My Alternative Lives. So I picked 3 jobs that I would have in an alternative life, and that's really fun because you can be so out of the box. At first, you're really not practical. You just think about what's fun and enjoyable, maybe what is glamorous. And then when you grow up, you have to choose a major. In college, you have to think what makes money. So this kind of took me out of it a little bit to just be a kid again and think, what are the possibilities? I did stuff like being a pop star, being a fashion designer, being a filmmaker. Those things all sound really fun to me. I would then have to choose activities that correspond to my alternative lives, which is so fun because it's another way of subtly forcing you to go closer to your ideal life, even in small ways. It has to be actionable, so that really scopes it to be small, but you are slowly doing baby steps to go towards your ideal because you don't have to be realistic. You're just engineering in real time what is in my control that I can do to achieve this fun thing. So I continued to go to dance class. And then the other one is I wanted to learn a TikTok dance. This is because it's really accessible, right? I can just pick one and learn it. I kind of don't dance outside of dance class. It was already my regular routine, so I just wanted to add something a little bit extra. And I ended up learning Girl Like Me. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, Girl Like Me by Pink Pantheress. I keep on seeing TikToks that are like 3 sets of Girl Like Me's. And it's them holding a little dumbbell and going like dun 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 dun. So cute. So I learned that. I recorded a video and I was really happy because it's something I didn't do before. And then for fashion designer, I just said, okay, I'm gonna wear some cute outfit curated for the weekend. I'll put more thought into the outfit. I'll try and accessorize. It was really fun. I also bought some new clothes for the summer. I'm usually not a tube top girl. I just thought, okay, this didn't belong to me, but I became a little bit more bold with my choices. I bought a cheetah print tube top. First of all, I don't wear animal print. And then second of all, I don't wear a tube top. And guess what? I combined both worlds. I thought it was so cute. I was so happy. I was stepping a little bit out of my comfort zone to explore the fashion. That was really, really nice. Girl, the tube top was $12. I call that a win. It was one less Chipotle bowl in my life, but I gained one animal print tube top. that I will love for the rest of summer. And then for the filmmaker part, I just said, I'm gonna make another video. And I did. It was my last video being a travel stationery that's cute. And you can notice in that video, I didn't do a lot of fancy editing because I really feel like the effort is correlated to my motivation to create. If I keep it low effort right now, because right now I have less than 500 subscribers and I'm still trying to find my voice. Yeah. So if I put 1000% effort in, it's gonna make me feel burnt out because some videos I do, they only get 30 views. Yeah, if I go all in and I get 30 views, I will feel so discouraged. So I'm trying to make more videos like these that are more sustainable and a little bit varied in topic, just so I can see what resonates with an audience and what resonates with me. Because everything I make will resonate with me in some shape or form. So now I'm just seeing what reaches the people. Yeah, finding that happy medium is really important for me. I used to think like pleasing the audience is not true to my artistic voice, but I think that's a really outdated mindset. I think it's fun to connect with someone and also put out everything that resonates with me and just find the happy medium because I can create anything I want at any time. That's the free will I had to realize. Not everything will resonate, and that's okay. If I want my creations to be valued by an audience and acknowledged by the world, which I do seek, right? Because in my pages, I do mention about value, about appreciation, about, what's my innate value. I'm clearly searching for some sort of value. So this is my way to kind of reach out to everyone and say, hey, do you value this? Because I do. So if we can shake hands, that'll be really nice. So yeah, that's my week 1 reflection. I really enjoy doing it. Just putting things on paper and just confronting my fears, my happy thoughts, my negative thoughts in a very actionable way. I really do feel like my artistic output has increased a little bit. It might be coinciding with the fact that finals are over and I have a little bit more time, but I do feel like liberated in a sense. And I don't even care if it's placebo. If I'm liberated, that's great. There is a certain fear I feel like leaving my body. So I will keep on doing week 2 and I will report back. But I appreciate you watching, and if you want to start the artist way, I really encourage you to. I would love to know how you feel about the writing exercises. So until next time, bye bye.